Oh, happy Thursday. One more day, it's Friday, then it's the weekend. Yay! Just means more work for me regardless, it doesn't really matter. September 1st technically is ginseng season in Kentucky. Now, what I'm going to do is, tear my way, is before then, I'm going to hit the woods a little bit in certain areas, and I'm going to look for ginseng. Now, I'm not going to dig it, because it's, you get caught digging ginseng out of season, ooh, it's bad. Not only is it bad if you get caught, it's bad if you got it in possession, so I'm going to go out and look for it. I'm going to take my camera with me, I'm going to video some areas, take some pictures, that way I know where it's at. So that way, at September 1st, well, my butt will be out of the bed, going to the woods with my little shovel thing, and I'll be digging. Now, the good thing about it is I think it's like a 2 or 3 week window here that you can dig ginseng. Now, most people work during the week, go out during the weekends. Well, since I'm semi-retired, I don't have to work on the weekdays, and it gives me more time to go out during the weekdays, and I can hunt, peck, and look and everything else. Now, Montez, which is a friend of mine, and I have him on Facebook, and I have him on here. We were talking this morning on Facebook, and he said he has a few spots he's interested in going out looking. Now, I have a spot too that's, I know it's going to be there, but you just got to find it. That's the problem. And it's about 1,000 acres. And I know with that 1,000 acres, there's got to be something there somewhere. So it's just the point of you having to go out and find it. That's the problem. And probably, hopefully, sometime between now and September 1st, me and him can get together and we can go out there and do some stomping and kicking and looking and everything else. Now, he's like me. He got kids and they're in school, and my kids are in school. So after they hit the bus stop, they go to school. We have between a 6 to 8 hour window of going out and playing and looking and everything else. Now, I'm not done on yellow root. I'm still in the process of digging it out. I don't have what I should. I know I don't. But what I'll just do is I'll dig it and I'll dry it and I'll save it back for next year. And if I don't get the full amount of price that it was this year, then it's my cut and my loss. Is my it's my puppy. But I'm not going to spend my whole time just digging yellow root. I'm going to be in the process looking for ginseng, because last year it was between $800 and $900 a pound around here, and that would help out greatly. So that's my go process. Now, my little buckling I have back here that's about about 6 days old now. I'm gonna wait till he's almost about the time for him to be weaned, and I'm gonna list him online for sale. Now, I looked up online about price wise, and the price for that breed of goat, being a buckling, pretty high. Now, I'm not going to charge that price because, well, I mean, I probably could, but I'm not. So I figure I'm going to get between $200 to $300 out of him, so that'll be fine for me. Now, I was going to keep him, but since I have another buck on the other side, that's my issue with that. And plus too, I don't need that buckling going back to mama later down the road and trying to process doing that thing, because I don't need no banjo picking billy goats with 4 eyes and 2 heads. So yeah, I'm just gonna sell him. Now, I do know people around here always want to, knock you down, dwindle you down and everything else. But, if I knew that I could get rid of that female I have and my Billy I already have, and get me another doe or two that's about the same age, yeah, I'd trade somebody out with some cash and keep my Alpine that I have. But most people around here, they don't want a wheel and deal like that, and they just they're just cheap. Just call it the way it is. They're just cheap. But since my garden hasn't done very well this year, I'm going to have to get some cucumbers from a fellow of mine down the road from me. He got a ton of them still, and he's still getting a ton of them. Now I'm going to get some of them from him, and then oh, it's just the wind. I thought I heard rain for a second. It scared me to death. But I got some pickles, some pickle brine mix and stuff like that I'm going to put together. I'm going to use my grandmother's recipe for bread and butter, because I love bread and butter pickles. I can eat them daily, all day long. And but he don't like bread and butter. He only likes he likes the royal sour dill or dill pickle, kosher dill, however you want to call it. And well, I'm just gonna have to make him some of those, and because I done promised him over the summer I would. But since my cucumber vine turned out that it produced, don't get me wrong, it produced good. Well, I don't say good. It produced average. But yeah, everything we got off of them, we've already used them making cucumber slaw and everything else. So I'm just gonna go buy some from the fellow down the road from me and use them to make him his dill pickles. Now, usually what I do when I make my pickles, like for friends of mine, I'll give them quart jars, stuff like that, and just no big deal. For me, I use half-gallon jars, because a half-gallon jar of bread and butter pickles will last me. Well, if I open the jar and eat a handful, put the cap on, put it back in the refrigerator, a half-gallon jar would last me a week and a half, if I'm lucky. Because them small jars I buy from the grocery store, about that big, that are about that big around, will last me about a day, because I'll eat the whole jar, and then drink half the juice in it. So, which a lot of people are like, well, if you're buying it from the store, why don't you just buy it from the store instead of making your own? Well, because when I make my own, I take onion chunks. I slice an onion about that thick. And I'll slice bell peppers and I'll stick them inside there with mine, and just other odd and end vegetable things, because that's my grandmother fixed it and that's why I grew up on it. It wasn't just pickles and brine, it was pickles and onions and bell pepper, and sometimes she'd put a turnip or two inside of it, just it's crazy what she put into her stuff, and I loved it. So, but I'm gonna make probably 2 gallons, probably 3 gallons of bread and butter pickles for me, and then the rest of it I'll make. Actually, I take it back. I'm gonna make 3 gallons of bread and butter, 1 gallon of sweet pickles, and then probably 7 quarts of dill pickles, and that'll last us probably from, say, October to about February, and then we'll be pickle free. But if I can, my beets I have grown over there, which there's some, and there's I'm not for sure exactly how big they are. I probably should have picked them a while back, but I just haven't. I'm just gonna let them, keep on growing until I have to pull them out of the ground. And if they're baseball size or softball size, I'll just quarter them, and I'll stick them in a jar, I guess a quart jar, and I'll make me some pickled beets. I love pickled beets. I love them to death. I love pickled eggs. I just love anything pickled, really. I'm not picky. Now, I am in the process of debating on whether to go ahead and pull some existing stuff out of the garden bed and throw some kale seed in there real quick, or get some kale plants or seeds, whatever. See if I can get some and put them in there, so I can have some greens in the colder part of the fall, because I love greens and bacon grease and onions and fried up in the skillet. Oh, it's just so nice. And it's bad for my cholesterol and it's bad for my arteries, but my God, it tastes so good. Now, I know that my canning process this year is going to be kind of slim to none, and I'm going to take my cooker I have outside. You cook my big old cook pot with. I'm going to start that up probably this weekend, maybe next week. I'm not for sure yet, but I know it'll be sometime between now and September. I'm gonna fire that bad boy up, because I'm doing my canning outside besides canning inside, because I don't want to heat the house up any more than it already is. But when I do that, I'm gonna take my old picnic table I have outside, my folding table. I never had a picnic table, but I'm gonna take my folding table and put it outside and put not a towel, but some kind of a sheet down on top of it to keep it from the hot jars warping the plastic part of it. And when I do my canning, I'm going to show you a trick that my grandmother showed me a long time ago, which will cut between 4 to 6 hours off your after you water bath your jars and you put them on your table or your counter. There's a trick my grandmother showed me. It cuts between 4 to 6 hours off the wait time, and it kind of helps to speed up process of your lids going. So I'll show that trick when I start doing it. A lot of people don't do it. I've watched all kinds of canning people videos, people on YouTube canning, and they never do it. They just took the jars, put them in the thing, and walk away from it. I'm like, wow. You could have taken this one little simple step, and it'll save you a few hours of time waiting on the process. Now my pepper plant beside me, it's a bunch of red peppers. I mean, a bunch of red peppers. Some of them probably need to pick. Some of them are really small, but there's a bunch of them. They're pretty decent sized red peppers. They're going from red to like a darkish brown color. So that right there tells me I need to be picking them. So, but I also have a ton of green. I'm going to show you this. And there's tons of them. This is one of the plants I'll be bringing inside. Look at all them green peppers. Man, it's just loaded with them. All them beautiful green peppers. Now, I don't know if I told y'all or not, but a few days ago my youngest came out here and grabbed a green one and attempted to chew on it. And he was inside sucking ice cubes and drinking milk, and his mouth was all swelled up. And I even asked him, I said, why'd you even do it for? I don't know. Because he can't deal with spicy, like hot spicy food. He can't eat it. Makes him sick. I was like, then why'd you come out here at a pepper plant that, that's known to be extremely hot, and pick a pepper and chew on it? I don't know. Kids for you. But he told me one thing. He goes, I'll never do it again. Kind of good. Now my Tabasco plant out there, it's loaded with peppers. Well, it's funny because when I got my Tabasco plant, that stem on that plant was no bigger than my pinky. Now the base of that plant is bigger than my thumb. I mean, it's massively. So I know when I go to get me my flower pot from the Dollar General here soon, I'm gonna need me a little bit bigger pot, so that way whenever I put my plant into it, it'll have a nice root base and it'll keep on going. And then my green room is like right there, which you can't see it, but my front door's in front of me. To my left's my side window, and I caught my green room because I painted that room a really bright green apple. I mean, it's bright, and that's where I put a lot of my canned stock and my pickles and stuff like that. And I got to rearrange that room a little bit because I got a cabinet in the living room that I'm gonna pull out of the living room, and I'm gonna transplant in there, and I'm gonna use that for I guess housing some of my other stuff I've been working on, and putting some of my pickle jars, stuff like that, into it as well. And I'm going, because I have a shelf somewhat kind of like it's a potato and onion bin with two well, think of a wooden cast iron stove. Okay, the thing with a cast iron stove is made of wood, and on one side of the bottom piece is potatoes, and the other side is onions, and it got two separate pull down drawers on top. That's in front of the window. I'm gonna push it to the side as well, and then in the window base right there, I'm gonna go to Royal King or Harbor Freight, one of the two. Probably Royal King, they got them cheaper. And I'm gonna get some plastic shelving, and I'm gonna put it right there in front of the window. So that way, when I dig up my pepper plants, I'm gonna stick some of them right there on the window there. I'm gonna stick my Tabasco pepper plant in my living room window right here, because the south is directly behind me. So when all the leaves in the fall and the winter time fall off all these trees out here, I get direct sunlight, bam, right here across the whole front of the south side of the house, which is the front of the house. And so I'm gonna utilize my windows for my peppers in the fall and the winter. And I know that some of the pepper plants I took inside a couple of years ago, they produced slightly during the winter, but if these do, more power to me. And if they don't, you know, and as long as they stay green and healthy and they don't produce peppers, I'm still happy, because I can bring them out next year, and I'm gonna put them out here in container pots across my front porch area, well, on the side piece across here, and they'll have all the sun they need in a container. And that means I'll utilize my garden space where they were in the garden space, and I'll put something else in place of them. Now, I know that my garden area this year kind of a little bit, so it's no love loss. I got it out kind of late. You know, it's my fault, nobody else's but mine. But I know that once I get some of the stuff taken up, I'm cutting out some branches across the front of the part of the tree over here that basically stumped some of my growth because it wouldn't get full sunlight. So next year when it comes around, I'll be A-OK and ready. I got some flies flying around my camera. Get away from there. If it ain't flies, it's gnats. But my walnut tree over there is starting to drop some walnuts, so I guess here soon I'll go out there and I'll cut the greens off of it and get them nice and dry, so later on I can crack them and get the walnut out. I got to prune some of my tree above me right here. It's my mulberry tree. I don't want to prune too much on it because I want to keep some of the overhang, because where I can grab a hold of it easy, and I can use my mulberries in the fall, because I got over a gallon bag of mulberries in the deep freezer, and I got a gallon bag of blackberries from last year still in the deep freezer, and I got something else in there from here recently, but I can't think of what it is. But I make a lot of cobblers in the, turn this thing around a little bit, I'm too far off center. But I make cobblers in the fall and the winter, mainly in the winter time, because well, who doesn't like a blackberry cobbler in the dead of winter? And I've used mulberries before making cobblers, and people think it's a blackberry. They have no idea. They can't tell the difference. And but I am going to take a handful of mulberry and a handful of blackberry, and I got a juicer inside the house, a steam juicer, and I'm going to mix the two together and make some juice with that. And then eventually, after I get the juice, probably throw probably about a few cups of sugar into it, and I'll make some mulberry, blackberry jelly. And my peach tree that was over here had some wonderful sized peaches. Evidently the deer snuck in the other night and they ate the peaches off the tree, so I have no more peaches. So what I'll probably end up doing is going out to the farm because there's a great big peach tree out there and it's loaded with peaches. So I'm gonna go out to probably the farm. I'll find out exactly about when they start coming in. Of course I'll be taking a couple trips out there anyway, off and on. But I'm gonna go out there and pick some peaches off the farm, and I'll use them for making peach jelly, or jam, or jelly. Just depends on how it turns out. Now, I made it before, and I'm probably gonna make it again. I'm not for sure exactly, but when I'm gonna make it. But watermelon jelly, if you've never had it, it's really good. And if you don't know how to make it, there's a lady on YouTube that fixes it. She does it, you know, it's like step by step almost. And that's where I learned it from, because I found it by pure accident, and I had to try it. Man, it's good. It's a long process, but it's good. And well, that's about it really. Now, as far as what you're going to see coming up here soon, you'll probably see me in the woods digging some more yellow root. You'll see me digging some bloodroot probably, because I'm gonna bring when I dig the bloodroot, I'm gonna bring it back to the yard. I'm gonna transplant it around the yard to see if it'll take off around here. Yellow root, I'm gonna wash and dry it and store it with my other stuff I have. Hopefully I can get a couple pounds of it before the price drops before it's cheap flies. But ginseng is my main concern, but if as long as I can still keep digging yellow root and it's still visible, I'm gonna keep digging it. Now, I know that some of my videos are kind of boring, and I talk too much. Of course, that's just how I am. I'm a talker. I can't help it. And I talk with my hands a lot too, if you haven't noticed. That's the Italian side of my family. Always gotta talk with your hands. And yeah, I guess I'll call this a video, and I'll see y'all here shortly. I gotta pick some peppers off of this, and I gotta go out there and pick some Tabasco peppers and take them in the house and throw them in my jar of vinegar so I can do my somewhat process of vinegar based peppers. And I will catch y'all in here a little while. Now, if y'all want to see some more crap from me, stick around. I'll have some more crap coming along. Now, when me and Montez go in the woods, Montez has a telephone. I don't have a cell phone. I have no use for a cell phone. I have a video camera. I'm eventually going to get me a GoPro, because I know one of these days I'm going to go in the woods, my camera's going to go wet, it's going to get torn up. But when me and Montez goes in the woods, I'll take my camera with me, and I'll do some short videos, or I'll take some, well, I don't know how to upload pictures on YouTube yet, but I'll take some pictures, and I'll have him show me how to do that stuff eventually, I guess, and that way it won't be a complete video. It'll be some pictures and video, but I'll definitely get some more outside digging kind of extravaganzas, since well, we're gonna have like 2 or 3 days of cool weather like this, and it's supposed to get back to like humid and blowtorch weather and everything else. But it's supposed to rain periodically, so that might curb it a little bit. But if it doesn't, it's no big deal. There's always September, and it sucks because it just means it's closer to fall. But definitely, if we're going to ginseng digging, I'm taking a camera with me, and even if we don't dig anything, I'll make some videos of me and him tromping through the woods, making a bunch of noise and carrying on. Now, other than that, I guess I just call it, and y'all just have a good Thursday. And I might make another one Friday or Saturday, I don't know yet. I gotta see what the weekend brings. So I try not to plan ahead, because if I plan ahead, it never works out. So y'all have a great day, and I'll catch you again soon.